Hey everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy,
I'm Matt.
and we're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our show where we go over to the biggest and the best books that you can pre-order for this week. Don't forget, you can head over to infinityflux.net right now, where you can pre-order these books we're about to talk about, and your pre-orders are due by Sunday at 9. So let's get into some comics. I did want to, up top, mention that we will be going over one of our first exclusive cover for Infinity
It's
Flux.
really cool.
It's
It looks
really
great.
cool, if I do say so myself. But we'll be getting to that, so stay tuned. It's limited to 250, but we'll go over it a little bit later. Just
Yeah.
wanted to let you know that that is out there. And to get it, it is not under the regular subscriptions. You actually do have to go to infinityflux.net. It's right there on the homepage where you can pre-order your copy. But let's get into all the goodness this week, starting with our featured comics.
Starting with Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #1. And I mentioned this on Wednesday, but we don't really need to say much about this because
Yeah.
it sells itself, right? This is written by Brian Buccellato with art by Christian Deuce. And yeah, it literally is the Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. We do know that there was a clash between the Justice League and the Legion of Doom that opens a wall between DC's Earth and the MonsterVerse, is what the solicitation said.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that means there'll actually be more kaiju than just those two, and the Justice League can take on a whole bunch of monsters. We have seen some preview pages from this already in the most recent round of DC books that came out this week. I don't remember if they were in the week before, but we do know that they set a little. Obviously, it's not in continuity,
Yeah.
but we do know that in this continuity, Clark and Lois are not married. They're on a date, and he's about to propose to her when Godzilla rises up out of the bay. So definitely not in mainstream DC continuity, but that's okay because I just want to see them fight Godzilla and King Kong. So very cool, very excited for this
I
one.
also want to know, like, why, like, we've seen Superman take down characters of this
Oh
magnitude.
yeah,
Why can't he just fly in and do it? Is there going to be some, actually, they're magic? Or
could be.
did Lex Luthor put, I don't know, rockets on Godzilla that made him where you can't fight him? I don't know, but I want to see, like, all the intricacies of
Oh yeah.
how each of the members of the Justice League go about fighting and everything like that.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So this is our A cover here. We've also got a Jim Lee, Scott Williams variant. I
Which
love
I
the
wonder if
big.
Batman's going to be pulling out a Batman.
I really hope so. I really hope so. We have our Francesco Mattina variant, which looks very cool. We have a blank variant, so you can draw all your own
You can
kaiju
keep
battling
it's
the.
right there. It's clear, so you can keep adding and Rodan
Right.
and
Oh yeah.
Mothra
Space
and
Godzilla, Mecha
Space
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Yeah. We have this Christian Deuce. Oh, no, this is the Albuquerque foil
Yeah.
variant. Very cool. We have the Christian Deuce. No, this is the. Okay, so this is um, the sound effects gatefold variant.
Yeah.
So you guys know, like when you're looking at greeting cards and they open them up and they make a sound, that's what this one's going to do. It's going to make a big Godzilla roar. Now, a couple things about this. You can pre-order this, and we here at Infinity Flux are going to order up on this, but they are allocated to stores. So if you pre-order this cover from us, there's not a 100%
Yeah.
guarantee that you'll get it because we might not get as many as we order, and then from there it becomes first come first serve. Not only that, but this is $14.99, so this is higher price obviously than the other covers because of the cool sound effects. But when you open it, Godzilla
Yeah.
World. I don't know that there's been a comic that's done that before.
No, this may be a brand new
New technology for
new
comics,
technology,
yeah.
not say gimmick in a bad way, but
Yeah.
kind of a new hook that it's got.
Take that, 90s comics. And on top of that, we have a Kong one as well. So same thing, $14.99. You'll open it up, it makes the Kong roar, but these also will be allocated to stores. So you can pre-order through us, but we might not get enough to meet all the pre-orders. We'll just have to wait and see what we get.
I want to see if there's certain parts in the book you get to, and it's like those old books. You press
Oh,
the buttons
yeah.
on the side. It's like Godzilla roar here, and you like turn back to the cover. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Add in my own sound effects.
Take that 90s. Did I say that already? Take that
Yep.
90s? Okay.
Take a
Yeah,
second
take a sec.
dosing of
Yeah,
that,
because there's
Georgie.
two covers. Yeah.
Okay, next up, this is the one we kind of teased at the beginning. This is Archie's Fear the Funhouse toy box of terror. I want to say toy book of terror. Toy box of terror. So this is a new Archie book. It is, kind of one of their Halloween specials. It's going to be like your classic Megan or Annabelle or kind of haunted toys,
Yeah,
that kind of
Child's
thing.
Play for
Child's
sure.
Play. But sounds really cool. And this is a book that we are actually having a special cover for. So just want to show this is the A cover for that. We also have the B cover, and then we have our cover. So I did the art for this cover, and they wanted a Sabrina theme cover, so I was very happy to do that. I love that I got to draw Sabrina. But this is really fun, and wanted to mention this is, like we said before, a very special way of getting this. It's not the normal round of ways where you pre-order your comics. You can actually get this directly on our homepage at infinityflux.net. But it is limited to 250 copies, and we've already been selling them.
Yep.
So get your orders in fast. There's different tiers of the cover you can get, and also it will have that trade dress at the top.
Yeah.
Archie just hasn't got back to us with that completed version, but just want to make sure that you knew all that. We're very excited about this.
Yeah, it's our first store exclusive cover.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and thanks to the writer for this one, Timmy Heek, who kind of hooked us up with this. But I'm very excited to read it and to see how my cover came out. There's a lot of fun little hidden stuff on here as well, so
Yeah.
people will have fun digging through this.
Next is Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood #1. So this is just like a lot of the other Black, White, and Blood miniseries from Marvel. It's going to be an anthology. So this one's going to be a 4-issue miniseries, but it's going to be an anthology book featuring, one and done stories featuring different characters. But they're going to be of the zombie variety this time. So that's what sets this one apart a little bit. This issue is going to feature stories with Daredevil and Spider-Man and Moon Knight. Not sure about Wolverine, but he's there on the cover. So, yeah, it's just another Black, White, and Blood series from Marvel, but zombified and perfect timing for spooky season.
Yeah, and it looks like it's branded Marvel Zombies, so I guess they're the Marvel Zombies type of zombies, which
Right.
feel like they get a lot sassier. When
Yeah,
turn
they
into
do.
zombies.
Yeah,
they start talking smack.
they get
as
an attitude.
They
Yeah,
do get an
yeah.
attitude.
So we have this A cover here. Then we have the BJORN BARENDS variant, and then the Lionel Francis U variant as well.
That made me excited at first because I thought, oh, is Red Hulk going to be in there? But there can't be green, so he has to be
Right.
red.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, a new DC #1. This is our next mini-series set in the new Golden Age, and this is Jay Garrick the Flash. I'm so excited about this one. I love all the Justice Society characters, and I love that they're finally getting a spotlight. This is actually spinning out of the Justice Society of America comic and the Stargirl and the Lost Children story, where apparently in the past, these sidekick characters got basically written out of history. People forgot they existed, including Jay Garrick, and this is his daughter, Judy, that he didn't know even existed. And after all this happened, she comes back into his life.
That's like the nth level of forgetting to pick your kid up at school. It's like, oh, I forgot you existed at all.
I forgot you existed
Yeah.
on that island. But no, this is really cool because also a lot of years have passed. Jay is quite a bit older. Judy's still a teenager, and she's coming into a world back when she was around that was, they were the only speedsters. There was not as many
Oh, yeah.
heroes. She's coming into a much different DC universe at this point, and how's she going to adjust to it? How's she going to fit in with the rest of the Flash family? All of that be explored in this 6-issue miniseries I'm very excited about. And this is written by Jeremy Adams, who just got done on a phenomenal run on Flash.
Mhm.
And I love that he gets to continue writing a Flash
Yeah.
with this one.
And is in the middle of a fantastic run of Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. He's firing on all cylinders.
So we've got our A cover here. We also have this Francis Manipool cover, which is super cool. He used to be the main artist on the Flash book. We've got this Akuna variant, and we also actually that was the uh,
Yeah, that's the Acuna
that's
variant.
Akuna, yeah,
Yeah.
and then we've got this one, which is the Corona
Yeah.
foil variant. So man, the foil started taking off, and they're like
Everything.
every book's gonna have a foil.
Next is Superman #7. So this is a big deal because it's going to be an oversized anniversary issue, or I say anniversary because it's legacy number 850. So there's going to be a few different stories in this one. The main one is just continuing the story that we've been getting in the current run of Superman. We know that there's a mystery that's been brewing in Metropolis. Well, in this issue, the mystery gets revealed, and it's going to set up a massive story for Superman coming in 2024. So I'm very excited for that. The issue that came out this week was our first appearance of the Chained, which is a new villain for Superman, and he looks like he could pose a pretty big threat. So more of that to come. In this one, it does say, will Superman's having a tough time beating the Chain. Will he follow Lex's orders to take the Chained down? I don't know. I mean, he might. When does he ever listen to Luthor, though? Also, Luthor is visited by a figure from his past that will impact his future. So lots of just more good Superman stuff to come. This has been a great series so far. So this is our Jamal Campbell A cover. We've got a Lee Bermejo variant. We have a Frank Cho variant. We have a David Nakayama negative space. Oh, this doesn't really seem like negative space, though, right? Because you can see all the lines.
Yeah,
It's like the color bleed
yeah.
covers. We have a David Finch cover. And then there is a Greg Capullo and Jonathan Aglapian cover. And then a Jim Lee Icons series foil variant. So this is an homage, or not an homage. It's a
It is.
replica of Superman 200 and shoot, I don't remember, 208 maybe.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. But it's going to be all foil, just like that Batman cover was on Batman Day.
Yep.
But that was a facsimile. This one's not, but all foil still.
And next up is a book I'm very excited about because I'm a big fan of Hack Slash. I've been reading this, getting all the
Yeah.
omnibuses of it and everything. It's such a fun series. So this is Hack Slash Back to School. It's going to be a 4-issue miniseries. So if you don't know about Hack Slash, it was created by Tim Seeley, and it's a book that is kind of like just always going on. Like he'll come back to it every few
Yeah.
years. But it's about Cassie Hack, who is a slasher hunter, basically. Like in this world, there's all these very classic 80s and 70s movie slasher characters, and she goes town to town taking them out with the help of her sidekick Vlad, who was a former slasher
Right.
character. He's actually really sweet.
Yeah, he basically looks like Jason Voorhees with a
Yeah.
mask and big machete and everything.
Yeah, so it's really fun. But usually it's done by Tim Seeley. Sometimes he does the art, sometimes different artist comes in. But this one is going to be by, as you see on the cover, Zoe Thorogood, who is an award-winning creator, writer, and artist. She's done books like let's see, the big one that I think she won for is It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth. That was like a graphic novel. That book Rain by Joe Hill.
Oh, yeah.
About like the rain, but it was like
Yeah.
glass or something. She was an artist on Ha Ha for some of those issues. Fantastic artist, and she is coming in to bring her own take on Hack Slash. So I'm very excited about this. Looks really cool. We got some great variant covers. So this is our A cover by Thorogood. We also have this Tim Seeley variant. This is kind of what I'm used to Hack Slash looking like. We have this Caselli variant. And we have a Walking Dead 20th anniversary cover. So there's Cassie and Vlad fighting Michonne and a zombie, I guess. So very cool.
So next is Hallows Eve #1. This is a new miniseries featuring the character of Eve. Wait, what's her full name? It's Hallows Eve.
Hallows Eve.
Hallows Eve is her name. Yeah, I forgot about that. This one, there is a Halloween party at ESU that goes terribly wrong, and there's a lot of innocent kids there that are in trouble. Eve does have the power to help them, all her different masks. But is she a hero that would actually go and do something like that? Because we've seen her so far in more of a villain role, or maybe a wayward soul,
She's
kind of a
a
role.
reluctant villain,
Yeah.
but it feels like things are always put in her path that force her to kind of do bad things.
Yeah, but the tables may turn for her in this new miniseries, and that's really all the story we know so far. So I mean, there's got to be more to it than just she saves the party, but they're being very tight on the details, but still very fun.
What's very fun about her thing too is her ability to change with masks.
Yeah,
It's always fun to see what she pulls
yeah.
out. And I think they just revealed a like snippet from this where she puts on a Captain America mask, but
Oh,
instead of like the star, it's a pumpkin, and it's kind of like a Hallows version of Captain America that looks really cool.
very nice. So we have this A cover here. We also have a Cam and Coley variant, and then we have a Ron Lim variant as well.
Okay, and before we get to other number ones, just want to remind you to head over to infinityflux.net right now where you can pre-order these books we're talking about. You can set up your own pull list. You can pre-order some covers, variant covers, all that kind of good stuff. And when you pre-order books, you get 10% off of them. So we really appreciate that. And also, don't forget that you can use the code I Love Flux at checkout, get 10% off your first order. And that does, you can use both of those codes, or the code and the other discount together if it's your first order, and you get that double 10%. That's very cool.
It becomes like a Voltron of deals. It just comes together.
Oh, I'm trying to deal. I just imagine all these coupons like coming together,
Right.
forming this paper robot. Okay, next up we've got other number ones. So I did want to mention, when we do this show, there is so much stuff to go over. We don't get a chance to go over all of them, so that's a great reason also to head over to infinityflux.net and look at all the books, because this show could go on for
Oh,
hours and hours.
yeah, we could be here for 3 hours talking about everything.
Yeah,
So,
so listen to what we have to say, but then go check it out yourself as well. So next up, we have a new Gargoyles Halloween special, which I think this is awesome. Perfect fit having gargoyles at Halloween. So this is written by Greg Weisman, who does all the gargoyle stuff. The art is done by Bonesso Diego, and this follows Nash, who is the child of Brooklyn and Katana. You see right there in the middle on his first Halloween. And what's so great about Halloween in the Gargoyles universe is they can walk the streets just fine, and people just think they're in
oh yeah,
costumes.
Ninja
Uh,
Turtles.
yeah,
That's very
very
Ninja
Ninja
Turtles.
Turtles.
Yeah.
But there is a gargoyle hunter out there who knows that there may be some walking the streets, and he is using that night to hunt them. So none of the gargoyles are safe in this adventure. This is going to be 40 pages. So this is a big one-shot special. But I think it sounds really fun. Perfect for gargoyles, perfect for Halloween. So this is our A cover. We also have a Puebla variant. And we have a Mirka and Dolfo variant, which is super cool.
So next is a new one from Vault called Something Crawled Out, and this one sounds really cool and another perfectly timed book for the season. But this is about a girl named Eddie. Her name is Edith Eddie Miller. She has no grand plans. She's kind of just going through the motions in life. She spends her days sleeping in, and her nights working shifts at a gas station.
Hashtag relatable.
Yeah, right. But one day her younger sister does not come home. And so Eddie starts to search for her. And in her investigation, she uncovers a web of missing girls and rotting bodies, which sounds pretty crazy. She goes to the police for help, but they're actually pretty useless. So instead, she goes to her best friend Rainer to help. So the two of them begin a search for her sister. But while they're doing that, Eddie also feels like her best friend Rainer might be the devil himself. So, like,
What a twist!
yeah, what a twist, exactly. So, as if she doesn't have enough to worry about trying to find her sister and finding all this weird stuff. Oh, yeah, my buddy right here also might be the devil. So, sounds really cool. I don't know how many issues this is going to be, but it sounds very interesting. I want to know that guy in the middle with the glasses. Like,
Yeah.
anybody with glowing glasses that you don't see their eyeballs, they're up to no good for sure. So we have our A cover here. We have a Lambert cover. We have a Galindo variant, and then
No, those are from my book. You just have.
oh, I
You
just
just
have
have a
two. Yeah, so
Quan.
that's Quan. Yeah, I skipped a book. Yeah.
But next up is my book. This is Stranger Things: The Voyage, number one. And I know there's a ton of Stranger Things fans out there, and they eat up every time there's a new comic series to get more of the story from this universe as we get ready for the final season, or like the
Yeah, it's the fifth season's final.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this one's really cool. So this is by Michael Morisi, and the art is by Todor Hristov. And in this, a ship's captain named Jacob is too broke not to take a very shady deal, I guess, kind of transporting some cargo. But on this trip, aboard the Persephone, there is a crew member that gets butchered on there, and the Captain Jacob thinks that it may be something on there. So I definitely get Dracula
Oh
vibes
yeah,
of transporting him and all this, and
the Voyage of the Demeter.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also with Persephone being the another Greek
Mm.
mythology name and everything. So it sounds really cool, and it sounds cool that it's very different than just the main series, the main show. So we've got a couple of covers for this, like you mentioned earlier.
You're welcome. I'm trying to help you out.
So this is the A cover. We also have a Lambert variant, which maybe there's a Demogorgon on the boat.
Maybe.
We have this Galindo variant.
Looks like the Mind Flayer underwater, kind of.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And we have a Hristov variant as well. And next up, we got notable twos and threes. These are series that maybe we've only got the first issue. Maybe we haven't even got that yet, but it's time to place your orders for the twos and threes so you don't miss out. Starting with
Wonder Woman #2. So the first issue for Tom King's new run of Wonder Woman came out this week. It was absolutely fantastic. And in this one, just continuing that story, Wonder Woman readies herself for battle against Sergeant Steele, who we saw in the first issue, and his whole group of soldiers, which are, their task is to take down any Amazons who will not leave the country. However, one of his soldiers is Steve Trevor.
that's
Wonder
dangerous.
Woman's beau, if you will. So,
I will.
is she going to fight him? Like, what's that going to look like? And what will all that mean for her position in the world of heroes? So, she's an outlaw. I think there's a warrant out for her arrest. Like, so what is this going to do for her, like, status in the hero community? Very cool. I'm very excited to see it. The first issue was super interesting, especially that last page. I want to know more about what we saw on that
Yeah.
last page.
And
So,
it looks like we're getting a prologue for Amazon's attack, one
that's
of the
right.
new I guess it's not really crossover, but it's kind of a big story within Wonder Woman.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is a, separate backup for with that story. So here's our A cover by Daniel Sampere. We also have the Tedesco variant. We have the Delato Artist Spotlight variant. And then we have the Zillow Trick or Treat.
Nope,
Nope.
don't have that one.
Okay. Never mind.
Whoops. But yeah, this is the Delato, which they're doing spotlights like they did for like the Rose Bash and everything.
Right.
But this time it's Delato doing
Yeah, we've
spotlights.
seen another Delato Artist Spotlight, I think, last week.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a couple more this week that are very
Nice.
cool. So next up is Green Lantern War Journal #2. So issue #1 of this just came out this week, following John Stewart as he's also on Earth. And in this issue, we're getting the shocking identity of the Revenant Queen, who's kind of
Mm.
creating her own weird lantern zombie things.
Kind of? Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
So apparently that's going on, and also John Stewart is going to travel to Metropolis to meet with Steelworks. So it
Oh.
sounds really cool. If you are enjoying this, if you read #1, you really like it, don't forget to sign up for the series. This is our A cover. We also have our John Jiang variant, which is pretty creepy, and we have this Delato artist variant, which is very cool.
Next is Captain America #2. So the first issue of this series came out this week as well. A lot of first issues this week, and with the #2s on FOC.
Yeah, they're very much
Yeah.
like a month
Yeah.
spaced.
Yeah, so the first issue of this was great too. In this one, I'm super excited for this because I love a good Captain America Spider-Man team up, and we don't get them that often. Like you might think they team up as often as Superman and Batman, but they don't. So it's very cool. They are going to team up in this. Spider-Man actually interrupts Captain America's date night, which that's so Spider-Man. Am I right? Yeah. But he asked for Cap's help to take down the Sinister Six. So that's where they're running off to, I guess, on that cover. But meanwhile, some of Cap's former enemies are being recruited by a mysterious new threat that may be connected to an enemy that Steve faced before he ever picked up the shield, took the serum, all that stuff. We did see in the first issue, it's a lot of back and forth between current day and Steve's past when he was still young, before being Captain America and all that. The very last page of that issue was something very eye-opening that Steve experienced when he was still a kid. So all of that past stuff seems like it's going to be connected to this new threat that he's going to face. So we'll have to see how that all plays out, what it all is, but it's very, very exciting. So we have here our A cover. We also have a Lucas Wernick new champions variant. So again, this is not a new character, but just almost like concept art of what if Captain America had a sidekick,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And then we have a Phil Jimenez Avengers 60th anniversary variant.
And next up, we've got Dark X-Men issue number 3. So issue number 2 of this just came out. This is actually the Panosian variant. But in this one, the way the team split up in the last one, we had Gambit and that team go to try to help the Morlocks, who have been kind of marooned on a boat, not wanting to get on land for fear of being captured. But who showed up but the thought dead Archangel? But he doesn't look like that in the book. He is much creepier.
Yep.
So Gambit's gonna have to deal with that, along with Madeline Pryor and Havoc have to face their nightmares on the other side of the world. So this has been a really fun book. I really like the idea of like Madeline has the best intentions for making an X-Men team and saving other mutants, but the team she put together is bound to create problems.
Yeah.
So very fun. This is, like I said, the Panosian variant, and then of course we've got a Scotty Young variant where maybe being the Queen of Limbo isn't what it's cracked up to be.
So next is the Immortal Thor number 3, and I love the very first sentence in the solicitation says Thor in the wilderness. He's just gonna go camping. That's the whole issue. No,
He's gonna build a log cabin with his hammer.
That's right. In this one, Thor finds himself trapped in a puzzle that's the size of a planet, and his godly powers are of no help to him whatsoever. It does say that this is the story of the trickster's test. So, and that was capitalized, capital T, capital T. So it makes me think maybe there's somebody has to go up against named the Trickster, which that's a Flash villain, right?
Yeah.
But maybe,
Loki's also
yeah,
kind of
I was gonna say maybe it's something to do with Loki. I'm not too sure. But should be very cool. The first issue has been the first issue was great. The second issue comes out next week. I'm very excited for that. So here is the third issue in this series. We have this A cover here. We have a Cam and Coley Marvel Comics Presents variant where he is reading an issue of Gods, which comes out on the 4th of October. So he is getting an early look at that. And then the Tony Infante New Champions variant. What if Thor had a sidekick and it was? Yeah, it's like a hybrid.
That's very
of the two.
Okay, next up we have, speaking of Madeline Pryor and all that, this is Jean Grey, issue number 3 of 4. We haven't got issue 2 yet.
No.
Issue 1 was really good.
Interesting, yeah.
By Louise Simonson. And in this issue, since each issue is kind of, as Jean Grey is dying, she's looking for where did all of the X-Men go wrong, and she's kind of playing scenarios. So it's kind of a what if, but more within Jean's head. This one says this is the long-awaited story. This is the return to the Inferno story with Jean versus Madeline. So what will Jean do now in this kind of alternate version to regain balance for the X-Men? And I'm guessing between her and Madeline, we'll have to find out. But this is the Swabby variant for that.
Next is Uncanny Spider-Man number 2. The first issue of that one came out this week as well, and it was really, really fun. Nightcrawler, sort of not pretending, but just sort of doing his best Spider-Man in impersonation. In this one, he goes up against the Rhino, who I think maybe has been hired by Orcus to take him down.
It feels like there's a lot of hybrid Spider-Man and X-Men villain things going on, like in the last one with Vulture.
Right, and we also are going to see Silver Sable, and I don't know if they're still called the Wild Pack, but Silver Sable and her mercenaries. We do know from the last issue that they were hired by Orcus. So I don't know if Orcus also hired Rhino, and maybe they're just like we'll hire anybody who has fought a Spider-Man before, but just more fun. The first issue, like I said, was great. It's cool seeing Nightcrawler go up against Spider-Man's villains, and I love Silver Sable. I'm just excited for her to be back. It's been a while since we've seen her. So this is our A cover here. We also have a Lee Garbett variant who is also the interior artist, and then we have a Rose Besh variant as well. And you said that was his face looks very Gremlin-like, which I
Yeah,
like that a lot.
Goblin
Yeah,
or Gollum like.
right.
Okay, next up we've got Miss Marvel, the New Mutant issue number 3, and issue number 2 is actually coming out this next week, this next Wednesday. So we'll find out a little bit more about what the story is. But it just says that the evolution of Kamala continues, and who is Doctor Surfer? If you read issue number 1, there was a moment in one of Kamala's dreams where she saw what looked like Clea, but on Silver Surfer's surfboard.
Yeah.
So I believe that was maybe the new Doctor Surfer character. We're going to see what all that means. And also, why is Gambit, Rogue, and Jubilee on here, considering Gambit's off with the
The
Dark
Dark
X-Men.
Yeah.
Rogue is with the Uncanny Avengers, and I don't know where Jubilee is.
I think I saw an X-Force cover coming up with Jubilee on it.
Okay,
So maybe she's off with them.
yeah, so find out how all of these characters get together. This is our A cover for that. We also have a Peach Momoko variant and this really nice Terry Dodson team homage to, of course, Kitty Pryde's first appearance.
Next is Predator versus Wolverine #2. The first issue of that one came out this week as well. And it was really, really cool seeing a younger Wolverine face the Predator in right around 1900. That was super cool. In this one, and we did see in that issue that it focused on like 3 different time periods: present day, 1900, and then this time period when he was still part of Team X. And that's what this issue is going to be about. It actually feels very original Predator movie to me because it's a team of mercenaries in the jungle having to face off against a predator. But let's see. Well, I don't know if I should say like we saw something about they might have a they might each have their own predator to fight.
Okay.
I think I just spoiled it. Well, I shouldn't have said that, but yeah. So Wolverine, in the first issue back in 1900, he had his bone claws. He was still very young. In this one, he's got the adamantium. He's a lot more experienced, a lot more battle hardened. Also, he doesn't have his memory from like the early days, thanks to all of the experiments he was put through. So he actually doesn't remember fighting the Predator the first time. Maybe his memory will get jogged in this. But yeah, I'm excited to see not only Wolverine but Sabretooth, Maverick, like the whole team go up against this Predator.
Funny to see like Maverick now with his
Yeah.
mask and everything, and very cool.
Yeah, so it's gonna be super cool. So we have our A cover right here, and then we have a Gary Frank variant as well.
Love Brown Suit Wolverine.
Yeah, me too. It's my favorite.
Okay, next up we've got Star Wars Dark Droids D Squad, issue number 2. Issue number 1 of this was so much fun, with just kind of a droid team up book. But this one we are going to get R2 versus BT, which of course is like the evil version of R2,
Ooh.
and IG-88.
Does he have a goatee? Like the evil should have like an evil goatee.
No, but he's got plenty of weaponry that is stuff that R2 would probably never use. And we're also getting IG-88 versus 000, who is the evil torture-obsessed version of C-3PO. So it's kind of them fighting the evil versions of themselves.
The mirror versions.
Yeah. All the while, R2's trying to save C-3PO from the Scourge. So this is our A cover for that. We also have this Tom Riley variant with Chopper and a John Tyler Christopher action figure variant with 4 LOM.
All right. And next is Uncanny Avengers #3. This is our David Nakayama. Is this the back, right?
That's actually the back.
Yeah, so this is actually a wraparound cover with Wolverine going up against Captain America on the front, which looks really, really cool. In this one, it's the Unity Squad, which is the team that Cap has put together, versus the Liberation Front. It says blood will be spilled, and one will fall to their death. I don't know if that means like literally they fall off a building or they fall as in they die. I'm not too sure, but yeah, there may be a death in this one. And it says that somebody lobs, like literally throws something at Cap that we've never seen before.
I haven't seen people throw a lot of things
Yeah,
at
I don't.
Cap.
It's because it says like, oh, grenades and bullets. A lot of things have been thrown at Captain America, but in this issue, it's going to be something that you've never seen. So like,
Underwear.
yeah, yeah. What's it going to be? I mean, maybe it's literally the kitchen sink. You know, that because that's
Oh,
the last
nice.
thing. So yeah. So this is the Nakayama variant.
And next up, we have Plot Holes, issue number 3.
Love that
We still
cover.
haven't got issue number 2 yet, but I'm very excited. Sean Gordon Murphy's series about these fictional characters going through different books to try to save them. Very fun. Highly recommend the first issue. But we've got issue number 3 now, and we've got this awesome Master Universe homage variant by Not. Or no, this is the homage variant, and then we have the Not variant,
Which
which
I
is
love
very
that.
Gundam, very Robotech, so super cool in there. And next up, we've got more cool covers. So these are just covers we want to make sure you do not miss out on. What's a little stuff about the what's going on inside? Starting with Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue number 20. And this one's really cool because if you are know about a lot of comics and stuff, maybe you've read Kingdom Come. It's always a big recommend for people. It's a great way to teach people that comics can be more than just for kids. That was written by Mark Waid. Well, this series is also written by Mark Waid, and the world's finest versions of Batman and Superman are going to come in contact with the Kingdom Come version of those characters, which are quite darker
Oh yeah.
and maybe a little bit more cynical and stuff. But I'm very excited about this, especially it's the original writer writing those. So this is our A cover by Dan Mora, and we also have this Chrissy Zulo Trick or Treat variant.
Next is Batman the Brave and the Bold number 6. This one, you know, just like all the others, is going to feature 4 different stories. The first one sounds really cool, written by Gilliam March. It's a poignant, heartfelt tale of redemption called Back to Year One. So maybe we'll get a
Interesting.
nice little Year One story there. We're also getting the final chapter of the Stormwatch story that they've been telling across these 6 issues. What secret has Director Bones been hiding from the team this whole time? I guess all that stuff's going to come to light. We also have the return of Amelia Harcourt. She first popped up, I think, in issue number 4. She came back from the dead. And then a no holds barred story from Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Jorge Molina, which that's a great creative
Yeah.
team with Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing doing like the Batman Beyond. So they're everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the Batman Beyond book they're doing right now. And this cover we have here is the Gilliam March variant.
And next up, we've got Catwoman issue 58. This is actually the penultimate chapter in the Gotham War storyline. So you don't want to miss out on this. And this is a fantastic cover. This is the Swabby variant, which looks very old timey Hollywood, where Catwoman's stealing a ring, looks like right off a man's finger. And we have the Delato variant for his special month.
Yeah, I like that one. Next is Nightwing number 107, and I love the cover. Come to the seas, immaculate beauty. Come for the seas, immaculate beauty. Stay for Nightwing's pirate booty. Obviously, they're talking about his treasure,
Yes.
right? Well, it could be a double entendre as well. His treasure, but this one is continuing Nightwing's nautical adventures that started in number 106 from this week. He continues his investigation into who left him that package, that envelope that he got in issue 106. He got it back when he was Rick Grayson, but it was meant for Dick Grayson. So he knew that it wasn't meant for him. He wasn't going to open it, but he also knew that it needed to be kept in a very secure place called the Hold. But now the Hold is gone; it's missing. So during his investigation, he's going to discover a mysterious group behind the Hold, like who's responsible for the whole thing. And his past comes back to haunt him in the form of the Hold's leader. So all kinds of stuff involving his past from long time ago or just a few years back. But yeah, very cool story. So we have our Bruno Redondo cover. We have a Dan Moore cover, which is very cool because it shows Nightwing and all of his, or I guess I should say Dick Grayson and all of his various incarnations. We have the Delato Artist Spotlight variant, and then we have the Chrissy Zullo Trick or Treat variant, which these are great. We'll see another one of these, I think, in a minute. But yeah, these are awesome.
Okay, next up we've got Titans. This is Titans issue number 4, and it feels like we're getting really close to the Beast World story. That's going
Yep.
to be a huge event for DC. So this is our variant. This is the Talaski variant, which is really fun with Raven playing D&D with the team. But in this issue, Beast Boy is going to Borneo, but Amanda Waller takes notice of this. So
Mm.
I feel like all that's kind of
It's
leading
got to
up
be. It's got to be all connected.
because Beast World is going to be a heavy Beast Boy
Hmm.
story. So maybe this is when he becomes Beast Man.
Ooh, wait, and then he'd fight He-Man.
Yeah, this is actually the origin of Beast Man from
Right.
He-Man. And we also have the Chrissy Zulo Trick or Treat variant, which is very cute and very almost Teen Titans Go.
Yep.
It's like I mean, it's a lot of similar characters.
Next is Amazing Spider-Man number 36. It says that Spider-Man has never gone this dark. Will the consequences of his actions are unraveled? So we issue 35 came out this week, and yeah, I mean it's Spider-Man was
It's pretty
pretty
dark.
scary. Like he went after MJ and Paul, and he's got the Goblin laugh, and he's in the yeah, it's very cool. And it does say, will New York ever look at him the same way again? Probably. I mean,
Probably.
he'll smooth things over at some
New
point. Yeah.
York tends to do pretty well recovering after superhero antics.
Yeah, when Superior Spider-Man, he came out the other side of that
Yeah.
okay when he was, being portrayed as kind of a jerk. But yeah, this is our McGinnis. This is the A cover, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next up, we've got Star Wars Dr. Aphra number 37. This is another Dark Droids tie-in, but one to show you some fantastic covers, starting with this Darth Maul Clone Wars 15th anniversary cover. You see him there with post-spider legs, but not his final legs. These are like 2.0 legs for Darth
So
Maul.
not his final form.
Right. He's not perfect for this. And then we also have the Lucasfilm Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary, this time with the three hitchhiking ghosts for the Haunted Mansion. No, but this is a really cool cover.
And then Local Man number 6. So this is the start of a brand new story arc. Our first 5 issues told one big story. We had the Local Man Gold recently, which was its own story. This is a brand new story called The Dry Season. In this one, Jack is called to investigate a drowning on dry land. But he isn't legally allowed to be a superhero, so really he shouldn't be doing this at all, right? Also, there's a conspiracy going around that he killed uh, America's most beloved hero, the Camo Crusader, and we know that he did, right? That was that we learned that in that story, and it sounds like that's actually starting to get around now. And it sounds like this might be the first appearance of a character called Inga, who said who's I think her boyfriend left her to go be on another super team somewhere, so now she has nothing left to lose. So we'll have to see who she is and how she's going to play into the story. But the Local Man has been super fun, and it's a brand new story arc here. So we have our this is our C cover by Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks, and then we have the 20th anniversary Walking Dead variant.
No, this is the.
Oh, that's the Tim
This
Seeley.
is the Tim Seeley one. Yeah.
That's the Tim Seeley one, and then do we have the 20th anniversary?
Oh no, I think this is the homage variant.
Okay.
I just don't have that one noted.
Okay.
But we were all talking about this one before because this is
Blood Strike. Yeah.
Classic Blood Strike, where if you rub the cover, the blood would appear on it.
Right.
But I think everyone's seen that book in a dollar box somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
But next up, we've got other printings and graphic novels. Not a whole lot this week. There are still some that we're not featuring that you can check out on the website, but just a couple ones we did want to show you, starting with Daredevil #1 second printing. This is it says John Romita Jr. variant, but that's Aaron Cooter.
That's Aaron. That's actually a page out of EP #1.
Actually a page from it. So if you miss the first printing, maybe your store's sold out, you can pick up this second printing and get in on the new Daredevil run.
And then this is the trade paperback for Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance, collecting that 4-part story arc. There was an Alpha and Omega issue, and then it took place in one issue of Wolverine, one issue of Ghost Rider. So the whole thing is in one book, and this one's going to be $17.99.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflix.net. You can pre-order all these books right now. Check out that special cover for the that I did. That's right there on the homepage where you can pre-order right now. And stay tuned for our show coming up on Monday, where we'll be going over some of the biggest books coming out that week, so you know exactly what you want to grab when you go to your local comic book store. And until then,
See ya.